I want to get to what happened on the field. When you look at the box score, not very exciting. And look, Terry, let's be honest. He has turned into a little bit of a lightning rod for Detroit Lions fans, for Detroit sports fans. There was one guy people really wanted to see on Friday night, and that was Jameson Williams. If you look at the stat line, 2 catches, 18 yards, a drop, 7 targets. Terry, what did you see?
I saw a guy who's still developing. I saw a guy that has so much potential, and I know the P word is looked down upon some people, but this guy is a game changer. He has the potential to be a game changer, and but he's still developing. He's still trying to figure his game out. And the other thing, I don't care what anybody says, I think the comments by the fans in the media is affecting him. And we saw it with Eric Ebron. I'm not saying Eric Ebron was the best tight end in the world, but you could tell from social media and the way that he played that the comments affected him. And I would hate to see a guy like Jameson have to go somewhere else to show us what he can do. And I have a piece of advice for the little Lion fans: just get off his ass. Everything that he's done has been little minor BS, and you're the ones that have turned it into a mountain. For instance, when he liked
the Lamar
Jackson come here, it's a big deal.
I did
Twitter,
too.
I know you did, but Twitter is not real. Was it that serious? No. I think Jared Goff would have liked it at one point, probably, maybe not, but you know what I'm saying. Right. Then the gambling thing, to me, the gambling thing is stupid. If you've been in a NFL, MLB, NBA locker room, they're gambling all the time. Yes, they're not betting on games, but they're betting on pool, they're betting on cards, they're betting with each other on games and who's going to win or who's going to score 50 points or whatever. I think the NFL erred from this standpoint. They're supposed to make things crystal clear about what you can and can't do, and they normally do that. But in this case, lots of players didn't know that you cannot bet on non-NFL games in your hotel room. I'd be willing to bet that most players didn't know that. Now, back in the day when I first started covering the league, they would tell you everything over and over and over again. This time they didn't do it. And then to give this man 6 games for gambling on, I don't know who it was, maybe Alabama,
game, yeah.
Georgia, whatever, in his hotel room, that's not right. That's not Jameson Williams being reckless and saying, I'm going to do what the hell I want to do because I'm young, I got money, and screw everybody. That was a guy who's thinking, okay, I'm not betting on the NFL. I'm in my hotel room. What's the big deal? And I'm on my phone. So we made a big-ass deal about that. And he dropped the pass. Yep, he dropped it. I didn't like it. But let's not make that, oh, he's a bust. Because the way I looked at, yeah, he did drop the pass, but the 2-point conversion, that was a pretty tough catch. And he had to get loose, and he had to make an over-the-shoulder. That was a pretty good catch. So he shows his potential. I say, get off his ass.
Do you think he's
Let him play.
Do you think he's fragile, Terry? I mean, I've never met Jameson Williams. I don't know Jameson Williams. Do you think he's fragile?
I'm not going to use the word fragile, but he's letting things get to him. Mm-hmm. And so he's got to learn how to do it.
He's still a young man. He's still a young man.
The one thing Jameson Williams has to learn, to be professional. The nitpicky stuff that he did it himself. But that's a guy who's not professional. A professional is not liking Lamar Jackson come here. A professional doesn't bet on a college game, even in his hotel room. A professional knows how to act. A professional makes the fundamental plays. A professional doesn't allow fans to get in his head. So above learning the plays, learn how to get loose, learning his quarterbacks. Main thing he needs to learn how to do is be professional.
And, look, I think that Jameson Williams is in a completely unwinnable situation this preseason. Because, one, for people like us not to talk about him like this, he's got to be perfect. 7 targets in the game on Friday night. People would like to see 7 catches, 100 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, right.
And if he
and one be the game winner.
Yes, exactly. And if he did catch 7 balls for 112 yards and 2 touchdowns, you know what people would say at that point? Doing it against the scrubs. Doing it against second and third strings. So he's in an unwinnable situation right now. I feel like the goal for Jameson Williams, and I'm sure it is, has just got to be leave the noise over here and just work on your game. Just continue to work, and then in week 7, when you can come out and play again, be ready to go.
He can win. Here's the way he can win.
Okay.
Be a better player today than he was yesterday.
Yes.
So that's his own personal thing. Is forget the fans, forget us, forget the media. If he is a better player and feels better about himself, that's his wins, and that's what he needs to do. He needs to be held accountable for his coaches, his teammates, his community, his family. So
and not only that, I'll say this too about Dan Campbell. Part of his job is to balance challenging the player and taking care of the player too. And I do think it was a little bit of a flub by Dan Campbell to come out and say that he's never going to be an elite pass catcher.
Yeah.
I mean, for Dan Campbell, first of all, there's a good portion of the fans that are growing impatient with Jameson Williams. And then to hear Dan Campbell say that, and then to have him come out and drop what was a ball
Right.
probably Nate Sudfeld's best thrown ball of his life.
Right. Dan Campbell doesn't know that. He doesn't know that yet. I mean, this is a work in progress, and then it adds fuel to the haters out there. That's how Dan Campbell said that.
Exactly.
So, every time he drops the ball, I'm gonna be on his ass.
Guys, Brian Baldinger, and one of the things we'll do throughout the football season is Brian Baldinger does these incredibly well done videos, breakdowns of players. He calls them Baldy's breakdowns. He puts them on Twitter. More often than not, they're less than 30 seconds long, but he'll break down a player. He did take Jameson Williams and broke down some of the things that he did in the game, and boy, is he a fan of Jameson Williams. Take a look.
Giants line up in a disguised cover 3 look. It's really man coverage. His free safety's a rat. But here's Jameson Williams. This is what speed does. Now, Sudfeld put it right on him. Against the rookie, Deonte Banks, he's just got to catch it. The ball was well thrown, and you see the speed. Now you watch the speed here against the other rookie corner of the Giants, Trey Hawkins. Speed out. The respect he gets. All right. Body slam by Hawkins. Good matchup. Hawkins is big. He's got great speed. Now, this one right here, this is just a drag, okay? He's trying to get lost between the coffee grinds and the eggshells, and he does it, and then he bursts. And Sudfeld puts him on him for a 2-point conversion. J-Mo can change the game. Fun watching him run. He just runs at a different speed than everybody else.
And that's something, and it's that speed, Terry, that is gonna kill. Speed kills. And he makes plays like this. People forget about the drops when you make plays like that.
No one has mentioned the 2-point conversion. If you're going to mention the drop, you should mention that too.
Right.
But, when I first started covering football, I feared big teams. Then over the progress of watching more and more football, I'm like, I fear the teams with speed. And I've heard this too many times from the Detroit Lions. Well, we got to take what the defense gives us. And that's what they did for decades and decades and decades. But other teams are like, hey, screw this. We're going to put our speed demon out there. You got to adjust to us. So now if Jameson Williams works out and he gets himself together and he becomes a professional, guess what? Other teams are going to have to adjust to the Detroit Lions. Because as it stands now, they can have a great offense without him, but teams already know they got to stack the box at some point and stop that run. They know they have to outperform that offensive line. They don't have to worry about deep. Now, if he's in the lineup and he's playing well, then it's like one more thing they have to worry about.